Yo, what's up? Arasuji here. It's been a while since I kind of had a video on the Halloween game, but we are going to be talking about how to detain Myers or how to arrest him. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're also going to be talking about the things Myers can kind of do to prevent it from happening. So if that's something you're interested, definitely stick around. And I also want to say I'm making this video because I feel I have enough information to talk about it because of course I went to Boston and I've played it on site. I've watched people play it, but more importantly, I got some footage of it almost happening and I talked to like one of the developer guys and asked specific questions and I got specific answers. So that's why I'm making this video to share it with y'all, and I'm definitely curious to know what y'all are going to think about it. But as we get into it, I do want to say be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel because it's completely free. You know, it helps me out a lot and it lets me know you guys want to keep seeing this content, and I'll push it out a lot more and give out some more information, of course. You help me, I help you. Also, real quick, I do want to explain like what exactly is arresting or detaining Myers because it's something that we haven't seen too much of, and it is kind of a new aspect of the asymmetrical genre, so I'll paint the picture on that really quick. So in Halloween the game, there can be a situation where the heroes and or the NPCs just kind of escape. That's one way things could go down. There's another way things can go down where Myers actually finds everyone and, you know, he basically finishes all of the hero players. Basically just about a total victory, or more so he won, or he wins because he just had the most success. And basically the third option is arresting Myers. Now when I talked to like one of the developers on site, he basically reiterated that this is something that is not easy to do, and as we get into this video you're gonna see how complex it can really be. But it's ultimately a situation or an opportunity that can present itself where you have the ability to arrest Myers. And when it happens, there's literally a cutscene of Myers getting, like, you see him in a cop car, and then, yeah, he gets sent back to where he's supposed to be. Alright, so for Myers to be detained, Dr. Loomis or a cop has to be, like, on the map as, like, a playable character, okay? I don't see it being like a bot. Like a bot isn't going to initiate the detain or the arrest. Furthermore, for Myers to really start being detained, the bar has to load up of like the shackles. It has to be full, but not only does it have to be full, Myers has to be knocked down. And when he's knocked down, then that's when you will get the prompt to detain Myers. Now, when the prompt happens, it takes a little while, but the bar will start loading up. And assuming when that bar is full, that's when it's complete, okay? You get the little cutscene, Myers goes in the cop car, but you get like these quick time events, and if you hit the wrong button, it stops that progress. And then another one kind of comes up, and then it could stop that progress as well. But just because a cop or Loomis is involved with detaining Myers, that itself still may not be enough. That's why I said it's a little complicated, and it can be a little hard to actually pull it off. Alright, so if that doesn't paint the best picture, I'm gonna show some footage of basically what I'm talking about, but there's still more than meets the eye. So like in that footage, some of the buttons were hit kind of incorrectly, and it kind of shows when that red bar kind of appears, the progress meter kind of stops. And Myers recovers relatively fast. But even if all the right buttons are hit, I'm still not convinced that first time would have been enough to do it. And the reason for that is because when you're trying to detain Myers, that progress bar actually speeds up when more people are involved on detaining Myers. And it's not to say that all of them have to hit the detainment button to start arresting him, but it's actually the NPCs, your allies, assuming a lot of them are still alive, they kind of have to surround Myers and like kind of like a close proximity. The right buttons have to be hit, and all of that kind of adds up and speeds up the process of arresting Myers. And that's one of the main reasons why I say it's going to be like very challenging to actually arrest him, because it takes a lot of help. And this is assuming like the Myers isn't really using his abilities properly, because there are things he can do to kind of escape. And Myers himself, as we know, he can see that detainment meter. He's got to know these heroes and Loomis and the cops, that's what they're going for. Like, he's not, this Myers isn't just going to let this happen. Now, when the game does release, I think we'll be seeing a few more Myers like get detained until, you know, people learn how to play a bit more. Then at that point, we probably won't see it as much. And honestly, based on this and based on how certain Myers play, I probably think we'll see Myers actually getting rested, like probably 5% of the matches. But hey, I could be wrong. We could see him arrested a lot more, assuming teammates kind of work together. Again, collective effort is going to be challenging. Myers has a lot of tools that he can use to escape. And speaking of the tools that Myers has to like get out of this situation, like of course he has his shape jump. Now, he would have to break a line of sight and find an area of darkness to do this, so that could be challenging. One thing he can do is like duck in a room or like see if he can find a tree, break that line of sight, and then yeah, he can get snappy and use his shape jump. Furthermore, we know Myers has his little shoulder push, and if he's able to use that, then he can like basically counter one of these heroes that's like charging up a weapon. You know, someone's too close, uh, can get shoulder checked by him. Now, one thing I'm a little doubtful of, if Myers is surrounded by a bunch of like competent heroes and stuff, he's not going to be able to get a grab because he's going to get interrupted. You know, somebody's going to push him, they're going to, you know, shoot him with a gun, for example. That's something they could do. And as you saw in that clip earlier, a lot of that was happening. But something else you also probably saw in that clip is, as we know, Myers has an ability where he can like say stop, timeout, basically shatter things around him and literally just like disappear. He can just like get out of dodge. So if a competent Myers is playing, assuming this ability is not on cooldown, he can wait till that meter is getting a little too high for his liking, activate one of those abilities in his arsenal, and completely reset that meter. Now all of the hero's efforts are minimized. Back to square one. If they expended a lot of bullets or utility or ammo, then they're going to have to do that all over again just to try to do it again. And that's assuming Myers' ability isn't even like back up. Oh, and on a side note, I think with Loomis on that PAX build at Boston, I'm pretty sure he had unlimited bullets. I'm a little doubtful that if somebody spawns in as Loomis or a cop, they're going to have like unlimited bullets. They might have a lot, but I'm not sure on that, so we're going to have to see. And on top of all that, if Myers has Bloodlust, his attacks are going to be absolutely hurting. And we've already seen that if Myers has like a pickaxe, for example, he can potentially like two-shot some of the NPCs and even playable hero characters. And if you're still not convinced this is going to be challenging, I'm pretty sure, probably right, when Myers has more bloodlust, he also recovers faster. Like, I saw some clips where Michael was like barely down on the floor for that long. Now, in the same breath, if Myers keeps going down, I also realize he does lose some of that bloodlust. But remember, everyone, for one of these cops or Loomis to come into play in the first place, Myers has already found success. That's the reason they spawned back in the game anyways. So it's not like these survivors can come in and just, you know, arrest Myers. They kind of have to get spawned in again, if that makes sense. Alright, and to summarize the whole process of arresting Myers, to achieve this great feat, at least one cop or Loomis must be put into play, the handcuff meter must be full, and that meter increases based on the damage Myers takes or while he's in the down state. Myers must be down or in the process of being down whilst the meter is full. If Myers is down but the meter is not full, you can't arrest him. And as I said, it seems like as soon as Myers is going towards that down state, as he's falling, you may be able to initiate it right at that point. So whoever is playing this cop or Loomis has to be right on top of him. Sprinting towards his down body may be the difference between achieving arresting him or not. And when that happens, of course, proper quick time events must be pressed. And of course, considering how competent the Myers is, how bloodlusted the Myers is, as well as the heroes involved to arrest, can that still transpire? All right. If it's only Loomis and it's a 1v1 with Myers, yeah, it's not happening. But yeah, with that being said, if you learned something new or you found this video interesting and want to see more, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.